It's July. Let's spend some time setting ourselves free. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and today I want to talk about freedom in this month of freedom as we celebrate the upcoming 4th of July. And want to share with you about bringing in more freedom into your life and your day, not from the outside, but the freedom that comes from within. The freedom of letting go of those thoughts that just swirl around in our head, that are guiding us to chaos and drama and not feeling peaceful, but instead stressful. And it starts with noticing what you're noticing. You know, there was a time that all those thoughts that are in my head, I thought were some inner guidance directing me and helping me through life. And then I realized it was something totally different. My direction and guidance wasn't coming from the brain up here, but was coming from what I was feeling either in my heart or in my gut. And I have another fabulous read that I want to share. My well-loved, well-worn, The Untethered Soul book by Michael Singer. And in here, he talks about the inner roommate and how to start freeing yourself of this inner roommate. And I wanted to spend a few moments with you reading some of this because no one says it better than Michael Singer. So let me put on my readers and open up to the chapter about the inner roommate. And I want you to listen to this and let this help you open to what you might not even be realizing is going on up here. So Michael says, how would you feel if someone outside really started talking to you the way your inner voice talks to you? How would you relate to a person who opened their mouth to say everything your mental voice is saying? I want you to think about that for a moment. After a short period of time, you would tell that person to leave and never come back. But when your inner friend continuously speaks up, you don't ever tell it to leave. No matter how much trouble it causes, you listen. Can you relate to this? I want you to think about this, and with some humor too, because this is something we're all going through in our lives, is that mental mind chatter. There's almost nothing that voice can say that you won't pay full attention to. It pulls you right out of whatever you're doing, no matter how enjoyable. And suddenly you're paying attention to whatever it has to say. Can you relate to that? You might be really enjoying something and then all of a sudden thoughts start creeping in. You know, how many times have you even had those thoughts of like, you know, when's the other shoe gonna drop? This is too good to be true. All of that, is that inner guidance, or is that your inner roommate causing some chaos in your life? Think about this. Imagine, or he said, I'm trying to jump through, so I'm not reading the whole page. He said, what if somehow that voice managed to manifest in a body outside of you? Picture that. And you had to take it with you everywhere you went. You wouldn't last a day. If someone were to ask you what your new friend is like, you'd say, this is one seriously disturbed person. Just look up the neuroses in the dictionary and you'll get the picture. That being the case, once you've spent a day with your inner roommate as your outer friend, what is the probability that you would go to that for advice? After seeing how, so picture this, for example. What if you took that voice that's in your head and sat it next to you on the couch, or brought it with you wherever you went, and you put a body on it and you listened to that person as if it was someone other than you? And this is a very good mental exercise to start freeing yourself of your inner roommate, is by picturing that voice as someone outside of you, so that you can witness what you're hearing. Take it in as an observer instead of someone who's caught up into it. So you'd start noticing how often this person changed their mind, how conflicted they were on so many subjects, and how emotionally overreactive they tended to be. Would you ever ask them for relationship or even financial advice? It's amazing, as it seems you do that every moment of your life. Having taken its rightful place back inside of you, it's still the same person who tells you what to do about every aspect of your life. Have you ever bothered to check its credentials? How many times has that voice been totally wrong? Right? Think about that. It's so interesting when you start freeing yourself of your mind and you start noticing what you're noticing. I encourage you to spend a day just noticing the thoughts that pop into your head throughout the day. And are those thoughts helping you, or are they stopping you? Are they keeping you small and stuck? Are they thoughts that hold any truth to them? You might have thoughts popping in, saying things, especially since you're someone who is on your own by divorce, and you're now figuring things out, and that voice is going to say, you don't know what you're doing. You're too old. You've never done that before. How are you going to be able to accomplish that? That's not a good idea. That person. I want you to start noticing the thoughts that pop into your head on a minutely basis. What thoughts are you having right now as you listen to me? I want you to become aware of those thoughts, because those thoughts often distract us from what is really even happening. You get caught up in what someone looks like, what they're wearing, what they're doing. You start judging. You start judging yourself. You start comparing yourself. You start going down this whole road thanks to your inner roommate. And it becomes exhausting after a while. Do you ever feel exhausted because of all that's going on up here? So one thing you can do is, when you start, and sometimes we're not even aware of all the thoughts we're having. There was a time I didn't even realize all the thoughts that were going through my head. I was just listening to them. And one great way is when you start noticing those thoughts. And if they're going in a direction, and chances are they will, that you don't want to follow, because you don't have to. You have a choice now by being aware of this, is with a pattern interrupt. I've done this many times, and it has helped, where all of a sudden you just realize all the thoughts, and you just go, stop. And there's silence. It just stops. And then you realize, oh my gosh, there was all that chatter going on up there. And now, by me breaking the pattern, there's some peace. By challenging, is this even true? Yes, you're older than you've ever been. And that's a great thing, because you're here with your experience and your wisdom to now figure out your next steps, because ultimately you're stronger and smarter than you realize, that you've given yourself credit for, with that inner roommate that's in there, that's always looking to knock you down, to keep you in place, to keep you staying small, to keep you stuck, to make you feel like there's no hope at times. Does any of this resonate with you? Because that inner roommate is not having those voices or those thoughts that are helping you. Especially us as women, our inner roommate tends to be very negative. We say, I'm hard on myself. We're very hard on ourselves. Are we hard on ourselves, or is our inner roommate hard on us? So I want you to start paying attention and pattern interrupting. So first, take the time to notice that you're even having these thoughts. Become self-aware about that. And then take that moment to pattern interrupt. Michael Singer would say, spend a whole day just listening to the thoughts. He shares that in the Untethered Soul. Just pay attention to those thoughts for a day and see what it's telling you. Because what is it telling you, and are you acting upon those thoughts? How are you feeling because of those thoughts? And then you could take the next day and start pattern interrupting those thoughts. Start stopping those thoughts. Another one that I once heard too is all the thoughts are going, and all of a sudden you go, I wonder what my next thought's gonna be. Right now, I experience complete silence in my head because I've become conscious of there are thoughts going on up there. And then start challenging those thoughts. Is that even true? You'll never figure this out. I'll find a way to figure it out. You're too old for that. Hey, I've got years of experience now. You're too tired. So I rest a little bit. Maybe I take a 20-minute power nap, or I do a quick meditation, and then I'll be set to take on whatever. Spend some time challenging and helping yourself free yourself from the habit of being you. That's another book by Joe Dispenza, where you start realizing who you've always been doesn't mean that's who you always now have to be, or who you are now. Especially through a life transition like divorce, or maybe you've experienced a loss of a partner, or empty nesting, or there's been a career pivot for you, and you start realizing, I'm not all those roles I've held. I'm not any longer that person who did for everyone else. Now I'm figuring out how to take care of me after taking care of everyone else. The roles have shifted, and now you get to write this chapter. You get to free yourself from those thoughts that are stopping you for living in more peace, living in more joy, living a life that lights you up. One day at a time, one step at a time. It is a process, this journey of self-awareness. And it starts with being mindful of your mind. I would love to hear what you notice, what you have to share, your thoughts on this. So please share in the comments below. And if I resonate with you, please like, share, and follow for more. Until next time, be well and start setting yourself free. I believe in you. If I can do it, so can you. And I'm here for you. Take care.